at the Farm Journal for December 6th, 2019. Well, welcome to the Serene Disciple Project at Egret Isle Farm, and welcome to another part of the farm that I don't think I've featured in any of these videos. We're up in one corner of the barn, and this is the forge at Egret Isle Farm, and I have fired it up for only the second time since it's been here. And so what we are going to do this week is to do a little forging. Now, you should understand that I have never done this before. Part of the ethos of my creative endeavor, or my commitment to creative endeavor, is to truly allow creativity to take me, to just try stuff. We're going to start with either this part of a hinge to a gate, and if that doesn't work, we are going to revert to a piece of rebar. I really don't know what kinds of steel these are, but we are going to try to end with something that looks kind of like a knife, and so we'll see how that works. All right, we are back for day two. This is what I ended up with yesterday, and I'm okay. I'm okay with the shape of it, but as I was working the tang, this little part that'll be inside the handle, I got distracted and it got too hot and I burnt the end of it off. And so I tried to remake the tang right here, but really not enough material to work with. So we are going to fire up the forge today and start over. Okay, we are back at the forge, I think for the last day for this project. As you can see, I have cut off the bar there, and so this will be the handle. We'll flatten that out so that it'll basically be the same, close to the same height all the way along, as opposed to circular here. We used, by the way, 1-inch round stock to begin this rather than rebar. It gave me a little more room to work with, a little more material to work with. So the forge is heating up behind me. We will finalize the forging on this today, and I think that's as far as we will get this week. And then in next week's video, we'll take it into the shop and onto the grinders and for the rest of it. So all right, come along. Last day at the forge this week. This is basically where I wanted to get it for today and for this week. The basic shape is there. The basic profile is there. It's going to take me a lot of work on the grinder, but I think this will be a fun thing to pick up again next week. Well, I'm hot and sweaty. Let's go to the porch a minute and talk. Whew, that's better. Well, here's the first try. And, it will be obvious to even the most casual observer that I don't know what I'm doing. Had you noticed? And so if that's the case, what is the point of me trying at all? Well, the point is to be a beginner. So when a friend of mine asked if I'd like his old forge setup, I jumped at the opportunity, because this would be a creative endeavor. Blacksmithing would be a creative endeavor that I had never tried before, but had always kind of wanted to play with. And so I jumped at the opportunity, but the point of that creative endeavor and the point of jumping at that opportunity was that I would be a beginner, a newbie. In Eastern traditions like Buddhism or Hinduism, others, there is a concept called beginner's mind. In fact, there's a little saying that goes with it by Suzuki that I particularly like. It says that in the mind of the beginner there are many possibilities, but in the mind of the expert are very few. And so in the context of new endeavor, and really in all of life, I want to maintain a beginner's mind. Now, why would you want to be a perpetual beginner? That seems silly. And yet, as a beginner, I know that I don't know. And that's very useful because as a beginner, I stay open to new possibilities. I don't have everything locked in and boxed in. As a beginner, I'm willing to adapt and to adjust and to grow and to change. And that really is the key, that I am willing to change. I'm willing to listen to the wisdom of others. I'm willing to learn from the experience of others. And maybe most crucially, I am willing to see failure as a teacher, not a judge. Now, my first attempt at forging a knife was a huge success. I learned so much in doing this. This little bit of steel is a teacher, even if it only got me to this stage in the process. Now, I hear people say, well, I don't know how to, or I can't, I never have whatever, painted or written for publication or spoken publicly or made a YouTube video. I don't know how to do that. You don't know how to do that? Well, perfect. You are in the perfect place to be a beginner. And even if you never become an expert, I will probably never become an expert at blacksmithing, and that's not really my goal. But even if you never become an expert, you will have had, for a time, the opportunity to see life through the fresh, possibility-filled eyes of the beginner. And that's worth something. And I wonder, I don't know, but I wonder if this is something like what Jesus meant when he said that if one is going to come to the kingdom of God, one must come as a child, as a beginner, as a newbie, as one who knows that they don't know, or you can't come at all. Now that is something to think about. So what could you pick up this week, this season, that would cause you to be a beginner all over again? What could you do that gets you out of your expert zone, where you already know everything that's possible? What can you do to experience the beginner's mind? I encourage you to find something through which you can discover all of the possibilities of the beginner. Well, I think that's enough for today. We'll see you next time. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and give.